Thank you for tuning in to this edition of Mastering the Math of Business with Lauren. Today we're going to be discussing a topic that is a real differentiator between businesses that run well, consistently make money, and have cash reserves in the bank versus those that don't. And it comes down to this. It's knowing what to act on when. Those that perform better with less stress have processes in place to help them develop the knowledge they need to know which actions are the most important actions for them to take. Because one constant that exists universally across the world is there's always more that you can do than you have time or money to do. That's why you've got to be strategic in the decisions and actions you take. And the best way to do that is to position yourself with knowledge. So think of it this way. You're standing before a door, and on the other side of that door is more money. All you got to do is unlock it, open the door, and you can access it. It's that simple. The problem is, if you don't have the right key, in other words, you don't have the right knowledge to know which action needs to be taken to unlock the door, you're going to rob yourself of the opportunity to open it and grab that money. Think also, in your own experience, think what it's like when you're on the wrong side of a building. You're outside, the weather's horrible, and you're fumbling through your keys with your arms full, trying to unlock the door so you can get into safety and turn on the lights. Those are never good moments. And the reason why is because it can take effort to figure out which is the best key to use right now to advance your business. I like to liken this to really that whole start, stop, continue model. If you don't know what to start or what to stop or what to continue, you don't know which actions you need to take. Obtaining the key to unlock those actions that will lead to you making more money is as simple as working with the data of your business. More specifically, I'm talking just about your P&L statement right now. Do a few calculations off your P&L statement, and you'll begin to narrow down the possibilities of where you need to intervene to change your fortunes. For example, I like gross margin. Gross margin is simply gross profit divided by net sales. If that number's improving, there are things going well in your business on the sales and operations side. In other words, you're able to sell at a price that you can convert into those gross profits that allow you to pay for everything else. If that gross profit percent is decreasing, then you got problems. You're either not selling it for enough or you're spending more than you should. Think of it this way. Let's look at it from this perspective. There's a really basic component to going from what I have here is 3 cents off of every dollar sold to 23 cents. The way you move from 3 to 23, that 20 cents, is by having metrics in place that standards have been set against. You then measure results against those metrics, and you use those standards as an indicator. In other words, if you're beating the standard, so if this is the standard and you're beating it, you're going to position yourself to make more money. If this is the standard and you're consistently falling short of it, it's going to cost you. And if it's in the really big levers of your business, the things that really move your numbers a lot, you could lose a lot of money really quickly. So let's look at a narrative. This is a narrative involving a business that wants to increase sales by 5%. Last year they had 75% gross profit. 75% direct costs, so that gave them a 25% gross profit. They had overhead costs of 14%, which gave them what? An 11% operating income on every dollar sold. That's pretty good. What about increasing those sales by 5% but not doing anything on the cost basis? On the costs. So what's going to happen in this business is they're going to actually sell more but make less money. those higher sales will cost them basically $30,000 because they didn't change anything here. Now let's look at this same scenario, but think of it this way. It's 5% sales growth and 1% decrease in operating costs. That's it. The sales volume of this business, if they could move those costs down 1%, they could realize an additional $705,000. So the question that I like to ask is, which scenario do you want to operate in? Those that don't know what to act on are those that are typically going to find themselves chasing after more dollars for less money. And that's because they're not clear on where their business needs them to intervene in new and different actions to make more money. So here's how to calculate this for yourself. You just need to know three numbers. You need to know what your previous year's sales were, what your direct costs, and what your overhead costs are. So think of it in terms of this: net sales, COGS, and SG&A. Then you need to set a target, and that target is how much do you want to grow sales by, and how much do you want to reduce your operating costs by. So let's look at this scenario first from you just increase sales and you have a corresponding increase in operating costs. Just corresponding. That means that this business is gonna pick up $583,000 in sales, and they're going to spend $612,000 to generate that $583,000. That's if they allow themselves to have a one-to-one correlation. Now let's look at this scenario where they're going to go up 5%. So it's the same sales number, the same change in sales, but they want to reduce it by 1%. So in other words, they want to pull 1% out of this 89% here. That's going to enable them to pick up $705,000 in additional cash. That's only possible if you know where to intervene. In this business, where are you going to intervene? Well, you're going to intervene first here in your direct costs. Which direct costs as a percent of sales can come down? And focus there. That's where the action needs to occur in this particular scenario. So if you find yourself having trouble knowing what to act on when, in fact, you hold back in taking action because you don't have confidence or you're unclear, engage an expert. Engage somebody that can help you see your business in ways that you're not seeing it, that can help you position yourself to make the kind of money you should be making if you were to just change up a few things, put a few management practices in place, add a little discipline to those practices using your information, and you can find yourself in a much better position overnight. So if you do need help, stopping, or continuing, take a look at our leading and lagging metrics page on our website. So go to business-cpr.com/R6. Type in R6 with our URL, and it'll take you directly to our leading and lagging metrics. Not only will you get some tips on how easy it is to put these into practice, you'll get some of the best leading and lagging metrics that you can use to help you see your business differently. Again, the key to making more money is knowledge. It's knowing what to act on when. And that knowledge is available when you convert the data you capture, that's your transaction data, into information that you then develop insights from that allow you to make better decisions and take strategic actions to create better results. That's how you make more money. And as those results come in, it's going to generate new data, and that cycle will continuously move forward, and that's how you obtain what's called continuous improvement. Those that don't allow their transaction data to be consistently captured in a way that they can use it, it's like water evaporating. Eventually, the pan just dries up, or the riverbed just dries up, or whatever the source is, it just evaporates into the atmosphere. That's what happens to your data if you don't capture it and put it to work for you. Again, Making more money is very doable. It's doable for nearly every business if you know where to act when. Thanks for tuning into this video. My hope is that it's been beneficial to you. If it has, give us a like. If you've got questions, comments, concerns, something you'd like to explore a little bit more, put that in the comments section, and then subscribe. Subscribe to this video because we have lots of content just like this around very specific business terms that if you take a look at it and just appreciate the mathematical components of it, you can grasp that topic in ways that you never have before. That's the power of mastering the math of business. Thanks for tuning in.